Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudios.com. Today we've got another Halloween one-sheet wonder card. So we are going to be making this fun shaker card. Now I had to be a little creative with this because I had to cut out the insides all by myself and try to figure out how to do that. That was fun. So much fun. Alright, supplies you're going to need. Of course, your Whisper White A2 top fold card. So by top fold, I just mean that it folds along the top. We're going to be doing it the horizontal way instead of the vertical way. Oh no, this one I actually did this way. Interesting. I must have, when I was planning this out, planned to do different ones. So, alright, we'll keep that in mind and see the fun difference that it could possibly potentially make. Alright, so we've got our A2 card. We're going to need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic gray cardstock, and then we're going to need another piece of basic gray that's 4 1/2 by 2 3/4. This is what we're going to be stamping and cutting our jars out in. We need a piece of our Halloween Night DSP cut from our one sheet wonder sheet, and this is one of the 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 squares, and a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock that's 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. We need some scrap basic black cardstock, some scrap Whisper White cardstock, some window sheet. That's very important. That helps to make the shaker box. We're using the hardwood background stamp. We're using the Sweet Home, using the little ghost from it. We're also using the bundle, the framelits that come with it. I can't remember. I want to say they're Home Sweet Home framelits, something along that. They come in a bundle. You should get them. We're going to do more projects with them. Alright, and the Jar of Love stamp set, we're using the medium and the little mason jar and the cap from this one. Alright, from our everyday frame set, we need our medium mason jar, our small mason jar, and the lid for it. And from that Home Sweet Home bundle, we need the little bats and the ghost. Alright, for stamp pads, basic black and smoky gray, or smoky slate. And that is that. You could also do, if you've just got like the Jar of Love and the everyday jars, framelits, you can just use the mason jar, the plain mason jar in it. You know, use what you got. Alright, step 1. Let us stamp the 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic gray with the hardwood stamp. And because this one is so big, I usually just like put it onto my my surface, bring the ink pad to the stamp to ink it up. I love this background stamp. It just adds so much to your pieces. Also have a piece of scrap paper standing by. So just delicately lay in your cardstock. Now I'm going to take that piece of scrap paper and you just rub over it, you know, putting pressure on, like make sure you're not moving around that piece of basic gray cardstock. Alright. And pop it up and look at that. Doesn't that take it up to the next level? I mean, here it is regular, and here it is stamped. I think it's gorgeous. Gorgeous! Alright, cleaning this is kind of fun, but you know, you're stamping mist and you're stamping scrub and you're good to go. You can do a baby wipe too, if you just find that easier. You know, do what you need to do. We're just going to go ahead and pop that right back in for safekeeping. Alright, next step, let's get our 4 1/2 by 2 3/4 piece of basic gray. And we will get our, ooh, where's my smoky slate stamp pad? It disappeared. There it is. Put it up there. We need this out, the smoky slate, on our basic gray with our 2 little jars. Just ink those up. Get them on the cardstock. Remember, we're using a framelit, so remember to leave room for the framelit to actually fit around. Alright, there we go. You also want to, when you're stamping these, keep room for 2 of the little bats to end up fitting on here as well. Alright, that's it for the smoky slate. Now we're going to take our pumpkin pie piece of cardstock, and we are going to stamp our Happy Halloween sentiment in our archival basic black. Right, and just stamp it up into one of the corners. There we go. Oh, these photopolymers leave such a crisp image. Love it. Alright, oh, you know what? I forgot to get out the mason jar lid stamp. Pull that out now. Alright. Now we can move on to our next step. So we're going to need our piece of Whisper White scrap cardstock. Oh, we're also going to need a Versamark. Now, you know what? For this one, I think I'm just going to use the smoky slate. In the original, I actually embossed it with the silver embossing powder, but we're not going to do that this time. I also see that I forgot the Halloween Night Baker's Twine. It comes in a duo. We need the pumpkin pie basic black one, and I also used some Stampin' chalk marker in white, so get those handy too. Alright, so here we have our smoky slate. We're going to need 2 of these, so stamp 2 onto your scrap piece of Whisper White. Maybe we'll go with 3. I always like to have an extra to choose from, you know, whichever ones I feel look the best. Okay, we're also going to take our little ghost. Isn't he so cute? Alright, stamp him up with the, ink him up with the smoky slate too. We're going to do 1. There we go. And that is it for our stamping. So now it's time to put our inks away and get out our Big Shot. Actually, you can live over here. We don't need you for right now. Alright, Big Shot. Make sure all of our dies are over here. There we go. Since we're using the framelits, the magnetic platform, and our cutting plate. I always make sure, like, I have one cutting plate that this is the bottom. It's always going to be the bottom. And then I've got one that's usually just the top, so it's not quite as chewed up. I don't know why I do that, I just do. Alright, so let's line up our framelits over our little mason jars. Alright, that is it for our Big Shot, so we'll put our Big Shot away. And get a little bat. These bats are super adorable too. I mean, come on, that's cuteness. A cute little bat. Actually, lots of cute little bats. Punched out a lot of those. well, we die cut a lot of those. Alright, our scrap papers can be put aside so we don't get confused. Alright, now time for the tedious part. Alright, to make your shaker boxes, you're going to use the foam adhesive strips. So while as we cut out the center of these, we have to make sure that we have enough room for the width of the foam strips to fit. So keep that in mind. I kind of forgot that on my samples. Luckily, it worked out. Alright, looking at my old, well-loved cutting mat. And I also picked up, God, years ago, this little X-Acto knife, and it will actually, the blade will spin around in there, which makes it easy to kind of go around corners because it'll go with you. I probably got this at Michael's. I don't know if this is something that is still made. And you can see I have a little, pencil grip on it because I find it to be a lot more comfortable on my fingers. So take whatever X-Acto knife type blade that you got. You can even use scissors. Cut a little X in the center and then just go around it. Like if you've got a pair of nice scissors that you can do that with and you feel confident with. So you're just going to kind of cut out the center. Alright, so there we go. I'm kind of, I'm okay with it not being completely even from the center, having that little cartoony, quick, sketchy feel to the mason jars. You need to grab a little drink there. Alright, next let's go ahead and take our window sheet. I just kind of line it up a little bit and then roughly cut around. You could probably, you wanted to make it really easy on yourself, take your die and actually run it through the Big Shot. That would probably be a brilliant idea, but I did not think of it till just now, and I've already committed to this course of action, so I'm going to follow through with this. Good thing about window sheet is it is clear, so you don't have to worry about like the edges poking out too much. You don't have to be pretty and precise, though you could be if you're someone who needs everything to be super, neat and perfect. Go ahead, do that. This is your craft. It's your project. All right, I'm gonna get this out of the way. You can see a little better. All right, so let's get our snail adhesive or your Tombow multi glue. So I would say that if you were going to mass produce these, though this is an awful special card to mass produce, definitely cut out the window sheet with the little jars and the big jars, so you can just have, I think it'll go a lot faster for you. Alright, so there we go. There's, extra adhesive around, and just, well, that's a fun sound. Usually you can just use your finger to kind of rub it. I did it on the other one. It just kind of balls up and rubs off. But I'm on camera, so it's not going to work out that easy. It can't, possibly. Alright, let's get our foam adhesive strips. And from our other shaker boxes that we've done, follow along just like that. Wrap that piece is not going to be long enough. I'm going to have to stir a fresh strip. And just wrap it around the opening. Making sure there are no gaps, because those gaps are what the shaker stuff is actually going to work its way through. So it'll actually end up coming out of the shaker box, and that's not what we want. Can I just say how easy these foam strips make making shaker boxes? Like, there was nothing to that. Like, that was so quick and simple and easy. Alright, now is the time to kind of check to make sure that all your gunky stuff is not on the inside of the card, and if it is, now is a good time to clean it out. Alright, just got a little baby wipe here. Alright, and I'm going to use a paper towel. Obviously a lint-free product would be the best option here, but I don't have one on hand just now. Oh, you know what? I forgot a step. We need that scrap Whisper White cardstock out. Because we actually, we do need to cut more jars for our background, for the white background of our jars. Alright, so here we get your scrap piece of Whisper White. And this is exactly what you would do if you were cutting out the window sheet. Line up your little jar and your medium jar. Alright, and if you did that in the window sheet, it would make things so much easier. So, take my advice, cut your window sheet with your jar framelits. Alright, so what we are going to do, alright, we are going to take our stamps again. So our ghost stamp with the smoky slate, and we are going to stamp Casper kind of right in the middle of this jar, and then we are going to also, you know, stamp a couple, like double stamped, so they're there but they're not there. So that is that step, and we're going to do the same thing with the bat stamp. I didn't even have that one out, so we did need the ghost and the bat stamp from the Sweet Home set. Alright, and we're going to stamp that on the small jar with our basic black. Again, we're going to be doing some double stamping. Alright, that's it for all that, I swear. So now, the little mason jar, we're going to take all those little bats that we cut out, and we are going to pop them in. And then our Casper, we're going to pop into the medium-sized mason jar. And we're going to take some dazzling diamonds. This is a beautiful glitter, but you can take whatever glitter or sequins. I would recommend glitter for this part. Yeah, if you, I don't know, I think the dazzling diamonds and Casper, like, you have to do that. The bats you could do with, you know, a purple or orange glitter if you really wanted to, but you've already got the dazzling diamonds out for Casper. You might as well, you know, go ahead and pop it into the bats. I mean, these are mason jars that are supposed to look like, you know, they're part of a witch's stash. So, alright, just put in as much glitter as you like in your shakers. You notice I was just using like a popsicle stick. This is a plastic popsicle stick that I want to say came in a rub-on kit. You know, remember when rub-ons were like all the rage in scrapbooking and crafting? Yeah, I went a little crazy back then buying rub-on kits and have quite a few. And they come in handy. Alright, so now we are going to remove the backing as carefully as we can and try not to get glitter everywhere. It's going to get everywhere, let's be real. It's glitter. It finds a way. And we're going to take our Whisper White Mason jar with our Caspers stamped, and we're going to line it up as best we can and seal all that shaker box goodness in. Alright, there we go. There's our little Casper shaker box. I'm not sure how well you're able to see it with the light, but it is gorgeous. This is really gorgeous glitter, this Dazzling Diamonds. The entire rainbow is represented. It's almost like a holographic experience, but it's not a true holographic. But if you like holo, then this is a wonderful glitter for you. You can also mix the Dazzling Diamonds with a little clear embossing powder to get a fun glitter effect for your embossing. You know, that's something that we will be talking about in later episodes. Okay, so we've got our little shaker boxes. Let's get our jar lids. Use a little snail adhesive to pop these on because we cannot have our bat and ghost trying to escape. Alright, let's also get a scrap piece of black cardstock. Cut it into strips. These are for the labels. See the labels here? So if you have the banner cutter, then by all means use that. I do not, so here's a quick tip. You try to center it along, like right in the middle. Do a little snip, and then from corner to the top of that snip, corner to the top of that middle snip. Now that's the best way to get a quick, easy, I believe it's actually called swallowtail cut. Not 100% sure on that. If you're also using like a designer series paper, and it's not as thick as the cardstock, so it's easy to, you know, fold in the middle and then you just cut a little triangle out. Alright, so we've got our little tags there. So I'm just going to write, you know, Batwing and Essence of Ghost on each one. And this, you know, it should, it's okay for it to look hand labeled, you know. This is a witch's pantry, almost, kind of feel to it. Alright, I'm going to trim down the ends of these two because I don't want them to be too long. And then we'll get a little hole punch. I believe this would be an 1/8 inch hole punch. I'm just going to punch a hole in each one of those real quick and not worrying about like too much perfection. Again, you know, it's a witch's pantry. Alright, so I'm just going to measure this out real quick. There we go. Alright, so we're going to need 2 pieces of the baker's twine. There we go. And these are approximately 10 inches long. Alright, so here's how we're going to tie these on. Going to loop it through. Now be careful with the baker's twine because it will kind of start to unravel, which could be a cute look. Alright, so we've got it through the hole, and then we're going to wrap it around so it's around, and then I'm going to bring it up through the hole again, so I can actually show you without it. Alright, so here we go. We've got our two ends threaded through the hole, and then it loops. So that loop you're going to lasso right around the top of the mason jar. Place everything where you want it to be. Ooh, there we go. This is a lot easier when I wasn't doing this on camera. Alright, and then alright, so this side that is coming around here and out the hole, we're going to bring that back around the other side, and then we're just going to tie a knot. I was going to do a bow, but then I thought, witches don't do bows. Witches would do knots. They ain't got time for bows. You know, they're out there like turning people into toads and riding their brooms. If I was a witch, I would be out riding my broom rather than tie bows. Alright, so we're going to do that exact same thing with our other tag, our Essence of Ghost. Alright, there we go. We got one little side pulled through and one longer side pulled through. Oh no, we didn't get both of them. See what I was talking about with, you know, being careful with working with twine because it will unravel? Yeah, mine is starting to unravel. There we go. We fixed it. It's just a matter of making sure both the pumpkin pie and the basic black thread get through. There we go. Alright. Lasso it around our mason jar. You know, again, we've got, you know, this piece coming up and through, and then we're going to bring it right back around and tying it into a knot so that we can, you know, hurry up and get out to our brooms and go for a joyride. Alright, there we go. It's time for me to clean off my scissors. I think they're getting a little sticky. Alright, so there we have our little mason jar shaker boxers. Shaker boxes? Boxers. Alright, we've got our card. Our piece of basic gray that we did the hardwood stamp on. What feels like a million years ago. We're just going to center that onto the Whisper White card. Alright, and now our, I believe this was 3.5 by 3.5 piece of Halloween Night DSP from our One Sheet Wonder. I'm just going to kind of center. Okay, notice I only put this nail at the top and the bottom because this is going to sneak in there somewhere. So we're going to pop this piece on kind of more like down into the corner over here. Using our snail for our shaker boxes too. Now be gentle with this because as you're kind of pushing it through, like, there's nothing really holding it in the center, so you're going to feel it kind of give in. You could use dimensionals here if you wanted to, but I figured these have kind of enough dimension. Oh, you know what? In the original two, you see there's some baker's twine. I actually kind of haphazardly wrapped it around the DSP before I put it on, but you can add that, you can not add that. So you just kind of wrap it around and pop your bits on. Alright, I'm just going to place that there. I want to get this placed first so I can place this one so that you can still see the sentiment. Alright, and there we go. So we've got our two Witch's Pantry shakers. Look at that, shaky, shaky. Oh, it's so magical. And this is the one with like that extra twine, so you see how, you know, I put it up on dimensionals there and wrap the twine around it. Oh, alright, that's it for this card. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. A full list of the products along with links to my online store will be found on my blog, on my website, ecdesignsstudio.com. Link is in the description bar below. Alright, thank you again for watching. Happy crafting and creating. Bye!